The college entrance exam had just ended. I and my sworn enemy Frosty White were stopped for an interview. "What are your plans after the exam?" Without thinking, I blurted out. "Head straight to the factory to tighten screws." Frosty White's face remained unchanged. Bright Moon said she wanted to open a milk tea shop. Both of us fresh from the exam, were already thinking about earning money to ease the family's burden. Truly admirable. I and Frosty White looked at each other in silence. 3 minutes later, I turned and climbed into a Rolls-Royce Phantom. Frosty White spun around and stepped into an extended Lincoln. The reporters on site were stunned as if struck by lightning. Right after the college entrance exam ended, I and my sworn enemy Frosty White walked out of the exam room one after the other, ambushed by reporters at the school gate for an interview. "You two seem so confident, like you've nailed it. Did you do really well?" I didn't hold back, it was decent enough. "Peking University's no issue." Frosty White raised an eyebrow slightly. She said calmly it was alright, Singh was barely within reach. The reporters were shocked, that confident, huh? I smirked at her. "Because I've already been guaranteed a spot. As for this candidate," Frosty White smiled politely, "I've also been guaranteed a spot." The reporters were stunned for 3 seconds. Didn't expect to meet two prodigies right off the bat. "This place truly hides dragons and tigers." The reporter continued, "So what are your plans after the exam?" I didn't think twice, to the factory tightening screws. Frosty White, unfazed, said, "Selling milk tea." The reporter's eyes sparkled with admiration. Just finished the exam and already thinking about earning money to ease the family's burden. Not only excelling academically, but also so responsible. I and Frosty White looked at each other again in silence. The reporter glanced at me, then at Frosty White. "It feels like you two are in sync. Do you know each other?" Frosty White curved her lips. "Desk mates for 3 years. I quietly added, "But not close. To be precise, we've been at the top of the class rankings, facing off for 3 years. Sworn enemies, always at odds, never seeing eye to eye." At that moment, a Rolls-Royce Phantom pulled up at the school gate. The car window rolled down. The driver waved at me. Right after, an extended Lincoln pulled up too. 3 minutes later, I turned and climbed into the Rolls-Royce Phantom. Frosty White spun around, stepped into the extended Lincoln. The reporter's eyes darkened. That night, in a video titled, "Compilation of Epic Quotes from the College Entrance Exam," and across social media platforms, the interview with me and Frosty White went viral. The video's creator kindly added red eye effects for me. My lines, "Peking University's no issue. I've been guaranteed a spot," and "to the factory tightening screws," were slowed down 05 times with electronic sound effects. And finally, the scene of me stepping into the Rolls-Royce Phantom, looking insanely cool. Of course, Frosty White didn't escape the same fate. After the interview blew up, netizens went wild discussing guaranteed spots at Peking and Tsinghua. Such small words, but so powerful. "I'm not okay, I'm outta here." My own failures are scary enough, but others' success makes my heart freeze. Don't be fooled just because he's guaranteed at Peking and looks that handsome. Handsome's one thing, but he's got a Rolls-Royce Phantom too. But it's fine. He's just rich, good-looking, and brilliant, and has a gorgeous desk mate who's just as outstanding. Unlike us. No money, no brains, no looks, no beautiful desk mate. A life like ours hell never experienced. I'm the screw-tightening worker here, who'd randomly gift me a Rolls-Royce Phantom. If someone does, can they wait until I'm at the factory working first? A regular Lincoln would do too. Luxury cars keep zooming past my eyes one after another. Handsome guys, beautiful girls. I'm suddenly imagining a 1,000,000-word romance novel. Who can resist that eyebrow raise and smile from that guy? Team obsessed with looks like me is going crazy. He's got me hooked, damn it. That girl's just as adorable. This power couple, I'd die for them. What do you mean not close? There's photo proof that look you gave each other was definitely suspicious. They must fought like cats and dogs behind closed doors. How else could they be so in sync? Does no one care about the reporter's feelings? Give him a hug, he's about to break down. Netizens smelled drama and flocked, diving into my Weibo, digging through it from top to bottom. Seeing 99 new comments on Joyful Sky's post, I was shocked. This month's test, that dog Frosty White beat me by 3 points, and so annoying I need to find a chance to take her down. New comment. I told you my eyes are the ultimate judge. There's definitely something between you two. Love between to top students who can handle it. Don't fight, just go easy on her. Today that pig Frosty fell asleep in class. I helped raise her hand. The teacher said she answered correctly. Ooh, let her shine again. This afternoon when I fell asleep in class, she raised my hand. Haha, I was just pretending to sleep. New comment. Laughing so hard I'm dead. I'm calling this the diary of a rival couple. Don't be so cute, you two. Yesterday the hot guy from class for shyly ran into our class. Left a love letter and snacks for some dog on my desk. This guy's handsome fine, but those eyes are gorgeous too. I returned the stuff to its rightful owner and secretly took a small pack of biscuits. Speaking of that, dog's so still has paid attention to me. New comment. I'm mad you're such a blockhead. Is that stingy? Bro, shouldn't you be claiming your territory now? Like this my Frosty White will cry over arguing whether Elegant Jong or Serene you is prettier. I and that pig Frosty had a huge fight. In the end, she sent her little dog to drop a bomb in my yard. Like mother like dog. I swear we're enemies for life. New comment. Everyone step back. It'll reveal the right answer. You should have said, Elegant Jong and Serene, you aren't as pretty as you. In my heart, you're the most beautiful in the world. Wait, dropping bombs in your yard. Oh my god, are you two neighbors? If stumbled on another couple. Today I accidentally broke Frosty White's water glass. She didn't even glance up. I remember when I knocked over her Lego set as a kid. She cried her eyes out. How'd she get so dull as she grew up? No way, I need to find a way to make her cry. New comment. Oh my god, childhood sweethearts. In the city, don't they call this lifelong rivals? You two are sentenced to publicly dating 100 times. No more fooling us next time. In the end, netizens concluded this couple is so sweet. Easy on the eyes, keep posting more. At that moment, I was sprawled on my bed sleeping messily, ready to enjoy a perfect summer break. Netizens, don't go too far. Right then, a paper ball flew in through my window. I opened it. It was Frosty White's handwriting. My mom says come to our house for dinner. I looked out the window down to the yard. Sure enough, there was Frosty White walking her giant Alaskan Malamute, standing in my yard. She looked up, meeting my eyes, raised an eyebrow, mouthed, get down here. Her face, lips slightly curved, clearly in a great mood. I gritted my teeth in frustration, threw the paper ball at her face. That damn dog dares to block my college romance. Go to hell! The next evening was the class farewell party. In the private room, dim lights flickered. The atmosphere was lively. Frosty White and I each sat in a corner of the sofa, ignoring each other. Someone suggested playing Truth or Dare. I slammed the table. Let's play. Play big or go home. Whoever chickens out is a dog. 3 minutes later, staring at the card I drew, I fell silent. Kissed the shortest opposite T-sex person in the group for 3 seconds. Frosty White lounging lazily on the sofa. Her expression suddenly shifted. She snatched the card from my hand, her voice threatening. If you dare play for real, you'll tell everyone you broke Grace Wong's perfume bottle. I narrowed my eyes. How'd you know about that? Last time your dog went through the trash. Big Wolf sniffed it out. I was furious. Who's the dog here, huh? Frosty White filled a glass of wine and downed it. Victor Fang can't handle it. I'll drink for him. I was stunned. The next few dares, Frosty White took them all for me. Like staring into the eyes of the second opposite T-sex person on the left for 30 seconds. Eating a biscuit with the third opposite T-sex person on the right. Singing a love song with the fourth person on the left. When Frosty White raised her 5th glass of wine, I couldn't take it anymore. Isn't the person on the left a guy? That's not okay either. Great, now everyone will know I Victor Fang can't handle it. Frosty White, are you doing this on purpose? Frosty White calmly downed the wine, glanced at me. With your singing voice. After graduation, isn't it better to leave a good impression? And with your half glass and drunk tolerance, If you get wasted and start flipping tables, if I don't stop you, no one's getting out of here. I was utterly speechless. With the situation like this, the game lost all meaning. Frosty White seemed to think so too. She frowned, looking annoyed. Sorry, drank too much, feeling a bit tired. Let's call it a night. Victor Fang helped me home. I was bored anyway, so I casually agreed. Frosty White and I are neighbors. In class, we never hid it. Under everyone's knowing looks, I unfazed helped Frosty White out of the private room. Once in the car, I glared, "Stop pretending. We're far enough now." Frosty White's perfect eyebrows twitched. She closed her eyes, voice weak. "I'm actually a bit tired now." I looked at the skin under her eyes, flushed from the wine. I didn't argue. "You drank that much, huh?" The car rolled forward slowly. The interior fell quiet. I spoke up, "Hey, what now?" "That damn dog lent me your shoulder for a bit." My dad was standing at the gate, watching Frosty White leaning on my shoulder, as if finding it amusing. Drunk already? I nodded, yeah. I helped her upstairs first. My dad waved, "Go on." I turned, supporting the drunkard upstairs. For a moment, I thought I heard my dad mutter, "Has this kid finally figured it out?" When I finally dragged Frosty White into her room, turned to leave, a giant dog pounced. Big Wolf, Frosty White's Alaskan Malamute. It licked my hands full of slobber. Seeing it about to wreak havoc, Frosty White grabbed its ears. "Don't move, your mom's sleeping. If she wakes up drunk and goes wild, it'll bash your head. I don't care about you." Like mother, like dog. Big Wolf wouldn't listen. I, the kindest person in the universe, dutifully dragged the massive wolf dog out of the room. After handling Big Wolf, I returned to the room. Frosty White was gone from the bed. The sound of running water came from the bathroom. Oh, that dog Frosty White's got a cleanliness obsession. Even now, she doesn't forget to shower. I prepared to leave. Frosty White, you okay? I'm heading out. Don't pass out drunk after your shower. Just as I finished, a heavy thud came from the bathroom. I instinctively rushed in. "You damn dog, I told you not to shower after drinking." Wadey froze, staring at someone's bare body. My brain shut down. My eyes couldn't help but slide from her pale neck downward. I quickly grabbed a towel from the rack, threw it over her, closed my eyes. Guilty, hurry, cover that up. I didn't see anything, I swear. I'm just reminding you, that's all. Frosty White didn't respond. Did she pass out from the fall? I peeked to check, confirmed the key parts were covered, and breathed a sigh of relief. Frosty White had her eyes closed, long thick lashes casting a shadow, high straight nose, pale skin, pink lips. In the misty steam, exuding a vague allure, ignoring everything else, she was quite. I snapped back to reality. I must be crazy. I patted her face. "Dead pig, wake up." No response, so I slapped harder, both sides. "Wake up, Frosty White. You're heavy as a pig, don't expect me to carry you." I slapped her awake. Frosty White, with red marks on her cheeks, opened her eyes, gaze oddly clear, but with a hint of mischief. That slap sobered me up. I blinked. "Sorry, Frosty White, I didn't mean to hit you." To avoid misunderstanding, I hurriedly explained, "Here's what happened. You insisted on showering, and then you fell. I came to check if you were dead or alive, but I didn't see anything." Frosty White lowered her eyes coldly. "Victor Fang, get out." I didn't react at first. Before leaving, I stressed again, "Relax. I really didn't see anything. I have no intentions toward your body." "Really?" Frosty White got mad. She didn't reply to my texts. Wouldn't see me when I showed up at her door. The exact reasons unclear. My rough guess, she probably thinks her pure body was violated by my eyes. I'm wrong too. I rushed in out of pure kindness. Besides, she's not the only one who suffered. I had nightmares for 2 nights straight. At night, I de-lift my blanket, and my bed was full of naked Frosty Whites. Morning came, I opened my eyes. My mind swarmed with 5, 6, 7, 8 Frosty Whites surrounding me, making me check if their hearts were racing. We've been enemies for over a decade. Can't just let this slide. But these past few days, Big Wolf hasn't even bombed my yard. I couldn't find an excuse to pick a fight, as I considered kidnapping Big Wolf. to hold it hostage and force her to make peace. Frosty White texted first. You dare go to that date, just try. I stared silently at the date invite from class to South Leader. Sent minutes ago. Slowly typed a question mark. That idiot's confession was so loud, I couldn't not know. I have a grudge with him, you're not allowed to go. I was baffled. A loud confession and I didn't know. Anyway, am not close to him. Wasn't planning to go. Before I could reply, Frosty White called directly. Get downstairs in 1 minute. I stood downstairs and Frosty White pinched my cheek. I told you not to go, and you haven't answered me. I swatted her hand away. Awkwardly said I wasn't going, let go. She released me satisfied. I retaliated, pinching her neck. Oh, Miss White's got some nerve, huh? Ignoring my texts. Dodging me when I come over. Tell me, dare you do it again? Frosty White's pale skin flushed slightly from the choke. She closed her eyes. Her throat moved. I give up, I want. I smirked smugly, knew you didn't have the guts, dog. Taming Frosty White is as easy as Big Wolf dropping 3 piles a day. Right then, Big Wolf the majestic Wolf appeared, then charged like a wild boar. I lost balance, pulling Frosty White down with me. Frosty White, my human cushion, groaned. Victor Fang let go. At that moment, the front door opened. My mom, Clever Wong, stepped out looking around. What's that noise? I gripped Frosty White's hand, panicking. Oh no, it feels like we're caught cheating. With a big orange and sweet pear. Caught by the Empress, thrilling yet helpless. Wait! Clever Wong followed the sound. Kids! I saw Clever Wong's expression so complex. Complex enough to call it spectacular. Shock mixed with realization. Joy laced with admiration. The college entrance exam results came out. After checking my score, I sighed in relief. Haha, beat that dog Frosty White by 3 points. With these results, Frosty White was calm as an old dog. Yeah, Victor Fang's the best in the world. I basked in her colorful flattery and replied, you're not bad either. She curved her lips, got your luggage ready 2 days ago. Andy Duskchin and Clever Wong, no idea what they agreed on. The 2 women waved their hands. Decided to take me and Frosty White for a graduation trip with massages. A perfect graduation trip. I, of course, didn't refuse. Just didn't quite understand. Why? When Dad White and my dad offered to join, they were bluntly kicked out by the 2 women. Snapping back, I glared, need you to tell me. Luggage has been ready forever. Frosty White raised an eyebrow. Calmly checked, sunscreen ready. Sun hat, sunglasses. When she mentioned swimsuit, she paused, cleared her throat, we're going to the beach. You'll need these. My eyes lit up. Excited, the beach. Want I meet tons of cute girls. Wait, I'll go prepare now. Frosty White's smile froze. Victor Fang, you'd better keep your left eye on guard. And your right eye patrolling, or I'll make sure you don't see any girls. Departure day came fast. My dad, renowned Fang, held my hand, reluctant to let go. Son, I don't know why, but I feel uneasy. Frosty White smiled, comforting. Uncle Fang, don't worry. We'll take care of him. Who'd have thought? On the first day abroad, disaster struck. Frosty White and I got separated. No big deal, I wasn't panicked. For an extrovert like me, everywhere feels like home. When Frosty White found me, I was flirting in English with a blonde, blue-eyed girl. Oh, you're so cute. Frosty White's face darkened, turned, and left. 3 minutes later, Frosty White came back. Expressionless, dragged me away. I struggled, let go. I haven't taught her how to say hi in Chinese yet. Frosty White frowned. Say hi so she can tell everyone I'll beat you up. No idea what she was thinking. Frosty White suddenly smirked, want to teach. Let me teach her. A minute later, I silently watched Frosty White calmly teaching the foreign girl our national treasure. I knew you had no good intentions. Before leaving, the foreign girl with her broken, newly learned Chinese stammered to me, damn, your girlfriend's badass. Another ordinary day passed. That night back at the hotel, Andy Duskchin and Clever Wong mysteriously handed Frosty White a paper bag. Tomorrow we're going to the beach. This is the swimsuit we carefully picked for you. Swimsuit. Toss your old one. Wear this tomorrow morning. I caught the 2 women's knowing looks, finding it odd. 10 minutes later, Frosty White held the flimsy swimsuit, lost in thought. What are those two thinking? This much fabric, how can I fit? The swimsuit was a Japan skirt style. The top was a crop top, with thin straps, a large cutout at the back. The skirt so short it'd get scolded. According to her, it felt like bending over would expose half the planet. Whatever, might as well try. Frosty White took the swimsuit to the bathroom. Just as she changed, the room's doorbell rang. Before she could check herself out, she ran to open the door. The door opened. I stood there speechless for ages. She smacked me. Victor Fang, what are you playing deep for in the middle of the night? I coughed, looking away. I'm here to check if there's any hidden cameras in the room. Frosty White hummed, letting me in. As if nothing happened, kicked the messy pile of luggage aside. A few minutes later, I closed my eyes. Frosty White, stop walking back and forth in front of me. Keep this up and I'm done. I quickly checked the room, then practically fled. In less than half a minute, I came back, expressionless, picked up the scattered clothes and items, neatly packed them into the suitcase, and hurriedly left again. Frosty White watched me hustle from start to finish, a bit confused, but also quite pleased. Back in the bathroom, Frosty White finally looked at herself. Her current look, innocent yet faintly seductive, playful with a touch of allure, extremely satisfied. Anti-dusk chin and clever Wong have sharp eyes. The next morning, Frosty White wore the swimsuit. The two women looked her up and down, faces full of satisfaction. Clever Wong even pinched her cheek, kissed it with a smack. Ang Bang looks so adorable. If only you were my daughter. I poked my head out. Reminder, the shuttle's almost here. Ang Bang turned, catching my tired face. Puppy Fang, what naughty stuff did you do last night? The skin under my eyes was slightly dark, I replied. Pulled a smile. Couldn't sleep, strange bed. My eyes fixed on her cheek. Pinched it hard. You slept like a pig, carefree. I heard her snoring all night from the next room. When I let go, I rubbed where Clever Wong had touched. Let's go. An hour later, we reached the beach. Like a wild horse, I romped in the water. Frosty White followed, not far, not idle either. I waved, come play. Frosty White in her pink swimsuit, under the sunlight and deep blue sea, radiated a vibrant girlish charm. I didn't see many girls in bikinis, but Frosty White stood there, among the pale, hefty aunties. The most striking, she glanced around, seemed uninterested. Right then, Auntie Duskchin waved from afar. Ang Bang, come help set up the tent. Before leaving, Frosty White cautiously scanned around, warned Fang, stay near the shore, don't go far. I nodded carelessly. Then less than 5 minutes after she left, I nimbly dove into the sea. Joking, I Victor Fang since kindergarten. Won all sorts of swimming medals. Over a decade later, water feels like home. Not swimming at the beach is a wasted trip. 15 minutes later, Frosty White finished and returned. Looked around, finally spotted me floating on the water, just my head above the surface. I shouted, Frosty White, save me! Frosty White looked at me tense yet awkward. Didn't jump in, asked what now? I raised both hands, stammering. The waves just swept away my swim trunks. Frosty White was silent, then accepted her fate and jumped in. 3 minutes later, Frosty White fished out swim trunks near me. As if they burned her hand, she picked them up with just her fingertips, turned away, found it. I was silent, staring at the pink trunks, clearly not mine. Frosty White, I gritted my teeth. You'd better not be humiliating me on purpose. Are those my size? Frosty White's expression stiffened, glanced at them, quickly tossed the fabric away. Keep looking. Soon found another. I looked hopelessly at the black tight swim trunks in her hand. Keep it if you like. Another heartbroken man in the world. Couldn't you check first? Frosty White was silent, then calmly tossed the trunks. Took off her sun protective shirt, no more looking. Wear this for now. Coming closer. I noticed. Her pale skin flushed slightly, her eyes a bit flustered. She handed me the shirt, turned, hurry, and put it on. Changed back at the hotel. I tied her shirt on in the water, staring at her back dazed. Her skin so pale, her figure slender. Normally clothes hide it, But now it's so different. Slim waist, smooth elastic skin. Every curve soft and captivating. Her figure is stunning. Actually, last time I wanted to say Ang Bang. You done, haha, it's fine. Ang Bang, what's wrong? Actually, your figure's gorgeous. Frosty White's already pink ears turned bright red. Passing the tent they just set up, Auntie Duskchin and Clever Wong were chatting lively. Stopped at once. What's with you two? Clever Wong once again showed that spectacular expression. You little rascal, why are you wearing Ang Bang's shirt? Auntie Duskkin's expression wasn't much better. Eyes full of shock. Even with my usual thick skin, I sobered up. I lowered my head, hiding behind Frosty White, not daring to say a word. So embarrassing. Frosty White uneasy said, a little mishap. Well, explain later. Then dragged me back to the hotel. After changing, half an hour passed. Auntie Duskchin and Clever Wong rushed to the hotel. What happened? Frosty White glanced at me, as if thinking something, quickly looked away. After a brief explanation, they looked at me, then Frosty White. Something's off with you two. I guilty looked away. The sun shirt's effect was too obvious. But when changing, no one thought much. I turned, accidentally saw I was basically naked, no different from standing bare. My first reaction was to gouge out Frosty White's eyes. Then again, didn't I see all of her too? I Victor Fang am a fair person. Let's call it even. But on the way back, the more I thought, the more awkward I felt. Closing my eyes, my mind replayed that moment. Frosty White's mix of joy and embarrassment. Opening my eyes, her pale pink body lingered before me, wanting to escape but nowhere to hide. Honestly, this was a bit ambiguous. I stubbornly denied nothing's off, your overthinking. But the truth seemed to be, some things were spiraling out of control, growing wild. That night I tossed and turned in the hotel bed. At 1 a.m., I knocked on Frosty White's door. Frosty White, hair messy, opened the door. A faint chill wafted from her. Clearly just showered. Her expression was complex. Surprised, secretly pleased, and a touch of shyness. Why are you here so late? I cleared my throat, getting to the point. Feeling restless, couldn't sleep. Just want to beat you up for no reason. Frosty White's lips twitched. She sighed, come in. Half an hour later, I pulled up my pajama pants, left feeling refreshed. Slept soundly till morning. The next morning, Auntie Duskchin looked at Frosty White, with pinch marks and bruises on her arm. Raised an eyebrow. Kid, what did you do last night? Why so intense? I quietly slipped by, pretending to be busy stretching. Good morning, everyone. Another sunny day. Frosty White calm said. Got attacked by a puffed-up dog. Beaten one-sidedly for half an hour. Clever Wong rubbed her chin. This crime scene feels familiar. Auntie Duskchin laughed. Shrugged knowingly. Who knows? Maybe someone's sneaking around behind our backs, doing shady stuff at night. They looked at each other, shook their heads, and left. Poor sweet Ang Bang, toyed with by wicked Victor Fang. Both our faces darkened. That day's itinerary was a famous local fountain square, with a huge wishing pond, said to be very effective. But before the wishing pond, I thought long and hard, then wished for everyone I care about to be safe and fulfilled. I murmured their names in my heart. When I reached one name, I paused. Frosty White. She's important too. After wishing, I turned, saw Frosty White looking at me, eyes lowered. No idea what she was thinking. Done wishing so fast, Frosty White curved her lips. For wishes I prefer making them come true myself. Right then, church bells rang from afar. A flock of white doves flew in from nowhere, circling the square. The atmosphere turned sacred and romantic. By the wishing pond, couples started kissing. Frosty White looked up at me, eyes sparkling. Victor Fang, what's wrong? Close your eyes. I refused, not closing. Who knows if you'll spit in my face? Frosty White was silent for a moment, sighed wearily. Cooperate a bit. I closed my eyes, puckered my lips. Fine, whatever. A warm breath drew closer. Frosty White, her faint jasmine scent, hit my nose. I clenched my fists, inexplicably nervous. Frosty White, stopped being mysterious. I'm starting to need the bathroom. A cool touch grazed my wrist. Done. I opened my eyes, looked down. It was a bracelet. I adjusted it. Is the engraving my initials? Frosty White's long lashes fluttered, her voice softer than usual. Saw it yesterday, thought it suited you, so I bought it. I pursed my lips. An indescribable fluster rose. No wonder yesterday shopping with Auntie Duskchin and Clever Wong for jewelry. Frosty White disappeared for a bit. I suppressed that strange feeling. Smiled, thanks White Dog. I love it. At that moment, two familiar voices piped up from behind. With this romantic vibe, that's all you've got. I'm so mad. One's clueless. The other's tongue-witted. I told you we should push their heads together and made them kiss. That night at the hotel, before showering, I took off the bracelet, held it in my palm, admiring it. My lips curved unconsciously. Don't say it's small, but exquisite. Quite refined. After showering, I wore the bracelet and fell asleep. I had a dream. Still that familiar room. I stood by the bed, boldly lifting the blanket. A Frosty White appeared. In the dream, she was wrapped in a thin towel, hiding her charm. Curled up, face flushed. Even stranger, she had a pair of fluffy black dog ears. On closer look, just like Big Wolf's. In the dream, my face darkened. Unfulfilled desires hot. Wait, it'll satisfy you. Dream Frosty White's dog ears twitched, her face full of steadfast defiance. No way! We're enemies. I laughed. Enemies? Aren't they made for me to mess with? Haha, running won't be easy. I jolted awake, stayed wide till morning, like a zombie. Got ready sloppily, stepped out dazed. The three saw me. Frosty White frowned. What did you do last night? I stepped back, closed my eyes. Damn it, my head's full of that dream. Frosty White finally pulled the blanket, crying while cursing my shamelessness. Frosty White, stay away from me. Frosty White got mad. She and I stood on opposite sides. Auntie Duskchin and Clever Wong in the middle, like a galaxy between us. Auntie Duskchin and Clever Wong racked their brains. You two were so close yesterday. Why are you fighting for no reason today? My mood was complex. On one hand, I felt guilty for snapping at Frosty White. On the other, that dream made me afraid to look at her. I just wanted peace. Until I looked down and saw my wrist bare. The bracelet was gone. Instinctively, I wanted to run back. Wait here, everyone. I saw it earlier, it can't be far. Frosty White, silent the whole way, lowered her eyes. Said faintly, it's just a gift from someone unimportant. Lost, so be it. That day's trip ended unhappily. Back at the hotel that night, I lay on the bed staring at the ceiling, dazed. 10 minutes later, a man strong as an eagle shed a tear of regret. That bracelet was important. Frosty White isn't unimportant. Dreaming that dream was my own vile obsession with her body. What's that got to do with her? I shouldn't have lashed out. I sprang up, rushed out of the room, hurried to where I lost the bracelet that morning. With a flashlight, I searched the streets. Turning back, I bumped into someone. I looked up, saw a familiar face. The air grew awkward. Frosty White broke the silence first. What are you looking for? I exhaled. A bracelet with my initials. Really beautiful. Frosty White curved her lips. Lost is lost. Why bother finding it? I looked straight into her deep dark eyes. Because the person who gave it to me is very important. Frosty White lowered her head, huffed softly. I sighed in relief, pinched her cheek. Frosty White, stop pretending. I saw you smile, you sneaky dog. Was I super cheesy just now? Frosty White, as if venting, pinched my waist. This morning, didn't you tell me to stay away? I was just joking. When have you ever listened like that? This time was different. Frosty White's perfect eyebrows knitted. She didn't let up back then. You stepped back half a step. Didn't look like a joke. I was helpless. Some things, knowing them does you no good. Ow, let go. Frosty White eased her grip. I'll judge what's good or bad. I closed my eyes like facing death. Fine, I had a dream where you were on a bed seducing me, and I boldly took you down. Telling you to stay away was because I'm afraid I'd think dirty thoughts seeing you. Silence for a long time. When I thought Frosty White was so mad, she'd kill me to shut me up. Her voice feigning indifference spoke. I accept it. Don't feel ashamed for having designs on my body. I didn't react at first. What? Frosty White curved her lips, a stunning smile. That dream shows you like me, Victor Fang. I reflexively argued. Why can't it just be lust? But Frosty White lowered her eyes, locking mine, her dark eyes deadly serious. I'd have an outrageous dream about you too. I mean, she paused. Her pale face flushed faintly. You don't need to hold back. I allow you to ruin me. My brain shut down. You're playing that big. That familiar feeling surged back, heart pounding wildly. Mine scrambled, wanting to strip and flee. In the emotional chaos, Frosty White leaned closer, like I was under a spell. I stood frozen, dazed, watching her beautiful face draw nearer. At the last moment, Frosty White stopped. Victor Fang, why didn't you push me away? She smirked mischievously, then pulled out the lost bracelet. Put it back on me. I think I have my answer. The week-long trip ended quickly. On the way back, the two women looked at me and Frosty White. Something's off with you two. But they couldn't find proof. I guilty said, how could that be? You're overthinking. Grabbed my bag and luggage, urging let's go home. As soon as we arrived, Frosty White was interrogated by Uncle White and Bang. Nothing happened these past few days, right? She played dumb. What could happen? I had a blast. I confessed, said Uncle White. Don't worry. She's chubby, gained 3 pounds. Uncle White's eyes swept over me and Frosty White nodded meaningfully. These days, thanks for looking after her. If there's nothing else, head home. I need to talk to Ing Bing. Before leaving, Frosty White in a corner Uncle White couldn't see. Expressionless, hooked my finger. Such dog-level audacity. I grinned brightly. Alright, I'll visit later. After I left, Uncle White pulled Frosty White, talking nonstop. Last time I wanted to say, lately that kid's been rubbing me the wrong way. Feels like he's up to no good. Stay away from him. That night in my backyard, I looked around whispering, what's up? Frosty White pinched my cheek. Wait, are you scared of big wolves on guard? If anything happens, hell bark. I glanced at the drooling dumb dog. Suggest getting his stupidity treated first. I sighed softly. When are we telling him? Uncle White's guarding me like a thief now. Didn't you say we're just testing the waters? Flashback to days ago. Like, or whatever I told you. I'm just lustful. My eyes naturally stick to beauties. You're kinda good looking. So it's normal I'd have some thoughts about your body. Then test it. See if you really like me. Or just lust after my beauty. Why does it feel like you've stolen all the good lines? That's me indulging you one more time. Snapping back. I somehow felt foolish. Like I'd fallen into someone's trap. I fiercely pinched her cheek. Spill, what do you like about me? Frosty White raised an eyebrow. I like you because I do. Why need so many reasons? Like you beating me doesn't need a reason. Thinking about it, she's right. A handsome guy like me, a modern Adonis. Smart beyond measure, everyone loves me. Humph, bet you've been secretly in love with me for ages. And your looks are decent enough. I, the kindest in the universe, reluctantly accept you. Go ahead and secretly rejoice. Under the gentle moonlight and cool night breeze, Frosty White looked up, planting a soft kiss. Well, thanks for accepting me.